This mutation is called Ulnar New Year, and it is played on Lock and Load. We have two mutators active. We have Lucky Envelopes, and we have Fireworks. So, Lucky Envelopes, speaking of Lucky Envelopes, these are the Lucky Envelopes. They provide you with mineral and gas pickups, very similar to the Slim Pickings mutator, but without the Slim Pickings. Your mining rates are unaffected, and your mineral patches are exactly the same way that they are. So, this is purely a buff for players. And usually this opens up a lot of interesting strategies because you can do a lot of crazy builds that you would not be able to do in a normal game in a normal economy. And then we also have the Fireworks Mutator. This is very similar to Self-Destruction, but it is a lot nastier. The damage that Fireworks deal is much higher than the Self-Destruction damage that is normally being dealt. So in terms of masteries, we have 30 points into Dark Pylon range, 30 points into Shadow Guard duration, and 30 points into the Spear of Adun energy mastery, with Vorazun picking the Spirit of Respite prestige. So no Dark Pylon recall, but the emergency recall will be given to the closest Dark Pylon or the closest Nexus. So this will be a little bit interesting. There's going to be a lot of Dark Pylon pushing, which is what I'm expecting because of the prestige and because of the mastery allocation here. So we will see the strategy that Vorazun is going to be going with for this game. Gateway already down, cybernetic score on the way, and another pylon being built for supply. And what do we have here? So one thing to note is when you are playing against this mutator, really good idea to have your probes in patrol. So you can set your probes in patrol, and that way you can actually go ahead and pick up like whatever resources are available. You can see here there's a lot of pickup drops that Warzone will be picking up, but you can see that when you have your probes in patrol, one thing that can happen is they will, randomly walk into a pickup drop, so that helps you a little bit with your economy. But the other thing as well is that it actually provides vision of the map, so you can actually see where the pickup drops are on the minimap. And this is generally a good habit to get into when you're playing with this mutator, but more importantly when you're playing up against Slim Pickings, because the strategy is essentially the same. Shadow Guard getting used here to clear the expansion, and they will be moving over to the central lock to go and clear this thing out, and they are dealing with a Protoss composition that is a ground composition. And you can see here the damage that's being dealt by Fireworks. Now, one thing about Fireworks is, as you notice, that the area of effect is much larger than Self-Destruction, and the other thing as well is that it actually tries to target where your units are. So if you are not careful, you will lose your entire army, and you will be very sad when that happens. So be very careful when you're up against the Fireworks Mutator, because it is not a mutator that you can kind of tank. It's not as bad as, going nuclear or mutually assured destruction, which detonates a nuke, but the damage is pretty high. So be very careful when you're dealing with that. And you can see here they're using the Shadow Guard blinks as well to just try and dodge, and taking advantage as well of the invulnerability of Dark Templars when they are using their Shadow Fury ability. So you can see here the damage that's being dealt is pretty insane. But lots of pickup drops available now for Vorazun to catch and build up her economy. But we also have the expansion coming out too, and I think a lot of players, especially if you're not doing a random meme build, you can actually get away with a one base here. The extra pickup drops that you get on the map are just insane, especially if you're doing a standard build. If you're doing a meme build, it is obviously a little bit slower. We can see a lot. We have a Stargate, we have a lot of gateways, we have a Dark Shrine coming out as well, and again some reallocation of the chrono boosts. And the central lock has been captured so far, and all is good. And Vorazun now just putting up again Dark Pylon on the corner and just some photon cannons just to be able to deal with the random attack waves that will be spawning and trying to annoy Vorazun. You might be wondering, what is the plan here for Warzone? So far, nothing really seems very interesting, but here is our first hint. We have the Argus Crystal research being done. This is going to allow the Dark Archons to spawn with full energy once they have been created, and this will give you a very good hint as to the strategy that is going to be utilized here for this game. So Warzone will be doing a Dark Archon build, and again, like I said, this is pretty much the only mutation where you can, very reliably go for a build like this and not be completely behind. The Lucky Envelopes mutator here is very convenient. Now, the one thing I will say is that if you are playing Warzone, it is in your best interest to not cast time stop on this mission. I actually do not know. Someone let me know in chat, but in the recent Ninja patch by Blizzard, I do not know if this thing has been fixed. I don't think it has. The bug where if you time stop, Amon just goes like insane and starts to send random units to cap the locks. I don't think that has been fixed. So we'll see what the plan is here for Vorazun. We have a few Dark Templars already. They're getting ready to engage this next attack wave that is coming up, and we'll see how Vorazun decides to push into the subsequent locks. But overall, should not be too bad. And we have a lot of gateways right now. 2 Dark Shrines as well. So one is going for the Mind Control ability, and the other one is going for the Blink ability for the Dark Templars as well. So that is going to be fine. And again, Dark Templars trying to hide. They cannot dodge these fireworks forever, and there are a lot of observers as well with Amon's forces. Then we have a Shadow Fury being Shadow Guard being utilized here, and Shadow Guard will be able to take out this one hybrid here. So we're going to take out this and make sure that the enemy forces have no detection, and you can just see the damage that's being dealt here. How much damage has been dealt? 50 damage to the shield so far. So yeah, be very careful with the fireworks mutator, because it can get pretty nasty if you were not paying attention. Lots of pickup drops here as well that Vorazun may want to try and grab. But take a look at Vorazun's economy, even considering that she is going for a Dark Archon kind of build. We already have 3 Dark Archons built, and these Dark Archons have full energy, so Vorazun is just going to be removing these Dark Archons by... Is going to take the carriers? Yeah, 2 carriers are already in Vorazun's control, and he's like mine, and that is basically the end of these carriers here. So now the rest of the Shadow Guard is just going to be utilized to clear out whatever is left of these enemy forces. Very nice dodge there by the Dark Templars. You will need to actively micro. You cannot just A-move your army. One thing to note about the Fireworks Mutator, you cannot just A-move your army. You will need to actively move around. And one of the things that does actually make it a little bit easier is that structures do not count for the Fireworks Mutator, as you saw there. So it's only enemy units, but the second lock has been captured right now, and there is a probe here that is parked, and it will be capping this lock. Vorazun, with her newly found carriers, will be moving forward now to the next side and trying to deal with that. Oh, Vorazun stole an Archon as well. There's an Archon and there's a Dark Archon here by Vorazun. So unfortunately, this Archon I do not believe has any special abilities or regular Archons. So kind of a little bit boring, but again, Vorazun's goal is to just try and remove these enemy forces from here. And again, Shadow Guard getting utilized here just to take out these Dark Templars. And you have to be very, very careful. There is a lot of damage here, and that is just instantly those carriers getting deleted by the fireworks. If you did not believe the fireworks deal a lot of damage, there you go. That is proof of the insane amount of damage the fireworks can deal. And especially if you are playing with slow-moving units. I'm looking at you people that like to play carriers and battlecruisers. You may be having a little bit of a harder time. Like even Dark Templars, like they have the blink ability, and they're having a little bit of a harder time trying to dodge all of these things. And again, reasonably good splits, but you cannot avoid all the damage here. And this attack wave now is coming up. And this attack wave is going to be another problem for Vorazun. Again, Shadow Guard getting utilized here just to try and soften up these enemy forces, but Shadow Guard are going to be going down very, very quickly. Nice black hole here, and I think there's going to be a blink with a Shadow Fury, and very, very nice. Oh, that was actually a nice set of fireworks as well. So if you are like newer to the game and you're wondering, oh, how am I going to deal with this? There are a lot of commanders that can work really well on this mutation. I would recommend maybe a commander like Nova, because she has Griffin Airstrike. That helps a lot because you don't have to actually engage the enemy forces, and you can take out most of the enemy forces with the Griffin Airstrike. Other commanders that you can play, I would not really recommend Mengs, because if the enemy forces... Is there a GG over there? I think I saw a GG over there from the fireworks. But there are other commanders as well. Usually commanders with global powers, ouch. Commanders with global powers can help a lot as well. Karax with his Spear of Adun can actually deal also, just anything that can prevent you from actually having to engage the enemy forces directly can help a lot here. And you see here, there's going to be a lot of damage being dealt there, and a lot of these Dark Templars already in the red, and I think this may get even a little bit worse, because a lot of these fireworks are going to go down on top of Vorazun's army here. And yeah, it is you're gonna have a very difficult time, and which is probably like why now you've seen why I'm casting this game, because Vorazun is probably actually Vorazun will work really well if she had a Karax ally. So Karax, what Vorazun can do is use the black hole to trap the enemy force, the enemy attack wave in the black hole, and then Karax can snipe it with the Spear of Dune. So Vorazun does tend to work pretty well there. But Warzone in general is disadvantaged on lock and load because she's unable to use her time stop. And that is very problematic. Ouch. A lot of those, I think all those Dark Templars end up going down there. So, yeah, very, very painful. Take your guesses as well as to the losses, because I will show the unit's loss tab at the end of this game. And it has been a lot of carnage as well in this mission. And I'm actually not sure how Warzone is going to have to push it. Like, I don't know how she's going to be able to push up this ramp without having severe losses, because like even though there are dark pylons and there are more dark archons coming up along the way, there is a lot of micro that is required. Shadow Guard getting utilized here to try and disable at least some of the detection, but the Shadow Guard really stands no chance against the heavy entrenchment of enemy forces here. Dark Archons are going to be moving in, and they're just going to start stealing some more of these enemy forces, and they'll be pulling in some more of these guys on the lower side. Shadow Guard will be, oh, not the Shadow Guard, the Dark Templars will be jumping in with the Shadow Fury, but whenever they Shadow Fury, there are so many fireworks that get triggered there, and it is a huge problem. I think that eventually this will end up going down. Nice blink as well. There's a lot of micro that is used over here to make sure that these things do not end up getting wiped. And remember, just one misclick, and that is the entirety of Warzun's army gone. And you could go ahead and deal with that. Storm coming down as well. Some more of these Shadow Guards getting hit. And this Hybrid Dominator will end up going down. Lots of fireworks. Very nice blink out of the way. But now their blink is on cooldown, and they're a lot more vulnerable right now to the enemy forces here. So again, some more drops over here. That's fine. And the carrier getting stolen by one of these Dark Archons. And now there's an attack wave. And this attack wave might actually cause the rest of Warzone's army to get wiped. If they engage this, if he engages this, if he takes the wrong engagement, it's pretty much GG for the entirety of the army. Oh, very nice blink over there, dodging almost everything. And Warzone actually near 50% on the lock overload. I'm pretty sure you did not expect this to be such a long of a game. Okay, there are a few cannons that will be going down this game. This ouch on the Oracle, and lots of detonations going on. Oh, that was nasty. That was a huge hit of the fireworks. Lots of damage being dealt to Warzone's army, and there was an attempted warp it, I think, but the Immortal did take out the pylon there that was energizing all of this, so it was a bit of a problem. But Probe coming in right now to replace the fallen cannons, and I think this lock's pretty much taken over right now by Warzone, so that is 4 out of the 5 locks done. There's one more, and that lock again is very, very cramped and very, very dangerous to deal with. So see how the other thing I was thinking about, like I did mention Menks may not be the best commander. I think if you're using your calldowns, it's not much of a problem. But if your plan is to put the Earth Splitters around the center of the map, you will need to make sure that you are defending these sides very, very well. If you're not defending these sides well, you will end up losing all your Earth Splitters to the fireworks. Just one thing I wanted to bring up. I was just thinking about like what I said. I do try my best to give like good advice to people who are especially newer to the game. And if you're an experienced player, you probably do not need my advice because you already know what you're doing. I know there are a lot of people that are new to co-op, and they're just starting to learn the game, and learning the little intricacies behind the the strategies and stuff. So I do try and provide some good advice there. Warzone just comes up, sees the daddy Archon, sees the little Archons, is like, okay, let me get the blues and the reds here. And now there's a lot of fireworks over there. Blinks away from the Dark. Nice blink from the Dark Templars. They do end up dodging, but that Colossus does end up getting recalled back to the pylon because actually that Colossus was in cloak range, so that was actually really good. So Vorazun now is going to be capping this lock, and now we'll be pushing in towards the last and final lock of this game. One thing to also note is if you are playing this mission and you want to try and just clear it, get the bonus experience, try and make sure that you try and clear this mission as quickly as possible, because once you start getting past the 20-minute mark, you're going to start getting double attack waves, and double attack waves are obviously double Amon's forces, which means doubles the fireworks and double the casualties of your army. So Try and clear as quickly as possible. This lock will, the fourth lock will be captured. This is the last and final lock now that needs to be done, and there's going to be a lot of fireworks coming up, and these Dark Archons are kind of body blocking themselves. Carrier gets blasted to oblivion, and Dark Archon also getting focused down. Dark Templar is blinking in, and unfortunately the Archons are kind of getting caught over here, and very difficult to push in, and this hybrid also when it died. Okay, there is a time stop right now, and Vorazun is just going to be ignoring all of this and getting herself up on the ramp so she doesn't have to deal with the rest of these things, using the Dark Templars to try and deal with this, and a lot of these Dark Templars getting completely wrecked by the fireworks over here. I think did all the Dark Archons go down? I think no, there's just 2 more Dark Archons. Double-pronged attack wave coming up over here, which is what I was talking about, making it very difficult to hold both sides. Warzone has no energy left as well, so these cannons are going to get cleared out, and over here Warzone is going to be capping the last and final lock before Amon. This was very, very close. Guesses on the losses, last guesses, here we go. Lots of casualties, very inhumane, but the locks have been captured, and that is GG.